Hey teacups, welcome to another live episode of Tea with Teash podcast. I'm your host Teash, and today, as promised, I am gonna have the amazing Kharissa Parker, which is the Fox 4 KC news producer. She's gonna be stopping through, giving us some tea on her background, her journey as a media girl, and pretty much what it took to get there. I'm definitely excited for this episode because I need all the scoop. I need the tea on it all. So let's go ahead and grab her. Get in here, get in here, get in here, everybody. Anything, make sure you drop them in the comments because we get ready to start rolling. Well, hello there.
Hey, hey, how's it going?
It is going amazing. As I was telling my teacups, we can ready to get off into everything media, how you got started, what's going on with you, what's to come, and all of that. So, because we're on limited time, let's make sure we get it started. So,
Let's
as
do
I told
it.
everybody, this is the beautiful Kharissa Parker, Fox 4 KC news producer. So, let's get into it. So, how did your journey begin as a news producer?
Oh my gosh. My journey as a news producer didn't even begin with TV, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Um, so I'm from here, born and raised Kansas City, went to UMKC right down the street. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I got my journalism degree from. And I studied broadcast journalism there with the intent of being a reporter and one day being a news anchor. And my whole goal was to be an anchor on Good Morning America. That was like
Okay.
the end game.
Dream big, baby.
So after I graduated, it seemed like no one was hiring at all.
Okay.
And it was super discouraging because at that point in time, I had started college, well, that time around as a single mom.
Yeah.
My first time around in college, I went to the University of Nebraska in Lincoln right after high school. Came back with my daughter.
Oh.
So right. And she really became like my motivation to like take school seriously and get it done. So went to UMKC, and by the time I graduated, I was married with two kids.
Okay.
So finding a job right away was crucial and no one was hiring. So I ended up taking a marketing job where I was basically selling flat irons at Sam's Club. And
Girl.
baby, when I tell you I was discouraged, it was like my heart was just broken. I was telling everybody college is a sham, don't waste your
Yeah.
money. But I learned so many life lessons, sales skills and whatnot in that position in hindsight that have helped me along the way. So long story short, I ended up working in radio over at Hot 103 Jams. I was on air there for a couple of years
Okay.
and ended up in a real marketing job. And so I did marketing for a little bit. Somehow that turned into me becoming a content manager. So I managed a team of website designers and writers for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And and then I decided I needed to take a little break. I had
Yeah.
been on go mode since 2013. At this point, it was like 2018, 2019. I said, you know what? I need to take a break and just focus on my self
Yeah.
care. Health and wellness is a passion of mine. It always has been, but it wasn't something I ever took seriously as a career choice. But during that time frame, I took a little break from media and marketing, became a certified health coach, worked as a purchasing manager at a health and wellness shop in Grandview called Spirit of Health, which I highly recommend for anything
Okay.
natural that you need. Go to Spirit of Health in Grandview.
I'm
They
gonna check
are
them out
excellent.
then, cause I
Yes, you
need it.
got to check them out. They are incredible. But anyway, after that, I ended up back in marketing, started doing more writing jobs, and then a the EP at the time at Fox 4, I connected with her on LinkedIn, and she was like, "Have you ever thought about being a news producer? Like everything that you've done, I'm looking at your resume on LinkedIn, and everything that you've done is like perfect for being a news producer." I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know what a news producer does.
Right.
so, so, and a lot of people don't, and that's okay. Basically, a news producer is the person who decides what you're watching on the news for that particular show.
Okay.
So, yes. So what you see on Fox 4 News at noon
Hmm.
are the shows that, or are the stories that I have decided that I want to be in my show. So, and you may see those same stories on different shows because it's not like we're creating the news from
Yeah.
scratch all the
Yeah.
time per se, you
Hmm.
know? We're not just making things up. So you may see some of the same stories in different shows, but we all have our little niches and our little passions.
Hmm.
For me, my passion is celebrating diversity, amplifying voices, and connecting communities. That is what I do, you
Well,
know?
lay it
So
on out then.
you're gonna see a lot of highlights on the Black and Brown communities, good news. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna see a lot of health stories, things that can help you live better and just take care of yourself better. So I started at Fox 4 in the summer of 2022 and been there ever since.
Girl, you got a heck of a story because, honey, she said when I first got into this, I was not, I wasn't looking to be doing none of
I
this.
had
So
no
you definitely
idea.
went here, there, and everywhere, and it was good for you because, like you said, ultimately that marketing background set you up to be where you are now.
Exactly. Yes.
I
And
love
then
it.
I also did entrepreneurship for a little bit. I feel like Kansas City is the entrepreneur capital of America. Okay.
Okay.
Like we will start a business and it will flourish. I've seen
Yes.
it happen all the time, all around me. So I did that for a little bit as well. And even that skill set and
Uh-huh.
having that visionary mindset plays a big role in what I do now as a news producer.
Well, honey, I'm gonna tell you, like, just to know that journalism was really heavy in your background because I wanted to major in journalism back in the day before I had my first son, which he'll be 24 this year. And
Okay.
so fast forward, after high school, became a mom and wasn't able to. So now here I am in this podcast world, really trying to push the envelope. And it would have helped, but I said, you know what? We're just gonna work with what we got and take everything
Yes.
that I know is genuine and authentic, and I'm just gonna use it.
Yes.
Degreeless in journalism and all. I'm just gonna use it.
Absolutely. And the industry is evolving so much to where a lot of things that I feel like the industry at large and different stations look at when they want to hire people, like, okay, do you have a degree in journalism
Right,
and all that
right,
stuff? I mean, sure, it matters, it counts for something, but if you have the talent and you have the expertise and you can demonstrate that, a lot of people will give you a chance. I had never worked in a television station before. And something that I've learned is that with Fox 4 being the number one station in Kansas City, me being there as my first television station straight out the gate is a huge deal. So the
yeah,
industry is evolving. It is evolving. It's not all about you're just having a degree
right.
anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And that's amazing because, like I said, anybody can turn a mic on, anybody can step in front of a camera, but you have to have um, a genuine knack for speaking.
Yes.
And things that you say has to just flow.
Mhm.
So, that's just like somebody that is able to work on a car, whatever certification that means. You can get the schooling, but you have to actually implement what you're touching and learning and all of that. So, but anyway, I'm glad to see that I am speaking to somebody that's so heavy into journalism because that's ultimately where I typically started. But
I
whatever.
love that. I
So,
love that.
yes. So January 2025, you represented Fox 4 at 10 startups to watch in 2025 summit. Tell us about that and what information was shared at that moment.
Oh my gosh. So Startland News is a nonprofit organization here.
Uh-huh.
And I used to actually write healthcare columns for entrepreneurs for
Wow.
Startland News. Yeah. So when they asked me to be a part of the summit, I was just thrilled and so grateful. Super flattered to do so. But
Uh-huh.
they do this event every year where they shine a spotlight on these startups who are really taking their business ideas and goals to the next level. and
Okay.
and really the advantage is saying this is who you need to keep your eye on. So it was a lot of networking. It was so fun. I was part of one of two panels. I believe they had two panels, and I was part of the second one. And I really just shared what news stations are looking
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to getting your business or your organization on the news. So I was able to help them with some of those tips.
That's amazing. Like, that's really the true definition of giving back to the community. It sounds like it was remarkable, honestly, and I wish I would have known about it because I probably would have popped in. But I love to see things like that, that help you develop and help you strengthen your business and really flourish, honestly, because there are a lot of businesses here in Kansas City that I think could, use a little push. And a
Yes.
lot of them work so hard, so hard.
Hmm.
And I think that, having events such as those really push a little bit more, a little harder for them.
Absolutely.
So, all right, all right. So, what advice would you give anyone working hard to get into media? I know we touched on it a little bit, but what would you say is really the go to advice for anybody like me?
Yes. Okay. So one of my pieces of advice is, this is a big one.
Okay.
This is a big one. You have to learn how to separate your personal beliefs and opinions from how you tell stories,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So, as a news producer, like I said, we're picking the stories, right, that we
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
want to tell, but we're also writing them. So everything that you see an anchor reading or saying on the screen, they're reading it off the teleprompter. A producer typed that up and put that in there for them to see, right?
Wow. Who knew? I
Yeah.
didn't know
So
that.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it is so fun. Um, so especially when it comes to the passions that you
Hmm.
have that are really dear to your heart that can be controversial, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's politics or gender identity or religious
Hmm.
beliefs, you always have to make sure that you tell an honest and a full rounded story. It has to be non biased. You have to tell both sides of the story,
Yeah.
right? Because at the end of the day, we're not trying to persuade people in any certain way,
Uh-huh.
unless it's something that's like, okay, this is clearly a crime, you know
Right.
what I mean? Type of situation. But even then, you have to remember that you are innocent until proven guilty. And
Absolutely.
society tends to act like people are guilty from the jump, from
Uh-huh.
accusation, because the police said they did it or whatever.
Hmm.
And and part of our job as journalists is to make sure that everyone gets a fair chance.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you're non-biased in how you tell stories and that you're able to put your personal preferences, opinions, and beliefs to the side to make sure that you're telling a good, full, non-biased story.
Okay. Well, hey, noted, jotted down. So, when it comes to branding yourself, what are some heavy do's and don'ts when trying to be successful in media?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question.
See?
Um, The first thing that comes to mind for me is actually a tip that I got from Myron Fierce, who is the programming director at 103.
Hmm.
And he taught me this when I was a radio personality. He said that as a radio personality, you are a brand within a brand. So basically, what he was saying is yes, bring your personality to the table, bring your passions to the table and whatnot. But
Hmm.
also remember that there's a bigger umbrella that you fall under.
Uh-huh.
And you have to make sure that you align with the station's standards and
Yeah.
goals and whatnot first. So
Okay.
I think that's probably the best advice that I've received about building a brand. And it's particularly when you're a brand within a
Yeah.
brand and you're trying
Yeah.
to get into media, like whatever station you're working for, whether it's TV, radio, even print journalism,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's an online blog or a traditional newspaper, whoever you are and whatever image you're trying to put out there, you got to remember that you are a brand within a brand.
Okay. Again, noted. That's a very important point. So I definitely want to take in everything that you're saying because obviously you know the game very well. So yeah, that's something that I would always think about in the back of my mind. Like you are a brand within a brand.
Hmm.
So that makes
And
a
even
lot of
as an
sense.
entrepreneur too, like when you have your own
Hmm.
business and it's your own brand that you're building from scratch, you have to be able to remove yourself to a certain extent from the business
Hmm.
so that you can say, okay, is what I'm doing in alignment with the mission and the goals that I set out for this company
Yes.
that I'm building. So even when you're building something yourself, you still have to remember that you are a brand within a brand.
Yes. And again, noted, check down. So, how do you balance your personal life and your work life? Because, of course, it's very easy to let something spill over into personal life. So,
Hmm.
how do you balance the two and say, okay, you know what, we're going to keep business here, we're going to keep family here, and we're never going to merge it? Like, is that easy for you to do?
No, and I don't think it's realistic either, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
There are, especially because it's
Yeah.
news, right?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things um that we talk about on the news that do impact my personal life,
Yes.
and I can't separate it. Like I said, I'm born and raised here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to write stories about people who have gotten killed or
Yeah.
gotten shot that I know. There's no separating that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now when I'm at work in the moment, it's like, okay, you're focused on writing this story for your audience. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, another story that's really big right now that's very dear to my heart is what's happening over at Sunfresh on
Mm.
31st and Prospect, in the
Uh-huh.
whole Linwood Shopping Center. That's where I used to go all the time to get my groceries.
Mhm.
So knowing that, whoa, this is a huge deal. The only other grocery store that's decent is a mile away. If
Right.
Sunfresh closes down, it's going to create a food desert. That's something that hit close to home. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it really makes me want to take being a good citizen
Mm-hmm.
more seriously.
Yeah.
Um, Doing more volunteer work. I was just talking to my partner earlier today about how our neighborhood is being revitalized, and it's a beautiful thing, like seeing all these houses and whatnot finally like getting the love and attention that they
Okay.
deserve when
Because,
it
girl,
comes
it's some
to.
parts that they don't get that.
Exactly, yeah, but at the same time I want to make sure that people aren't getting pushed out.
Yeah.
That gentrification isn't about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather, he passed in 2017, but he was a real estate appraiser. He started his
Mm.
business when he was 17, and he did it all the way until 2 years before he died. And
Wow.
he used to teach me and my sister and my cousin about this is what redlining looks like. When you
Mm-hmm.
see this happening, these are signs of gentrification and whatnot. So in my adult life, it's like, whoa, I'm seeing these things happen. I'm telling the stories on the news. And it's like now I have a personal responsibility
Yeah.
to get out there, volunteer, show up, and really help make a difference. So yeah, so sometimes a lot of times there is no separating work
Mm-hmm.
life balance. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But at other times it's like self care is a huge deal to me, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
So making sure that I unplug, I unwind, I do my very best not to watch any news once I get home
Oh,
from
yeah.
work. Doing things like meditation, eating healthy. I don't eat healthy all the time at all.
We
At
are all
all.
guilty of it, I swear. And I want to be better. I want to be better. You
Yeah,
know?
me too. I was a vegan for a couple of years and that
Did you
ended up
like
not.
it?
I
Were you
did. I loved
really
it, but
hungry?
no.
Good. Because I want to be a vegan. I mean, I'm really close anyway because there's a lot of stuff I don't eat. Like, I don't eat seafood, I don't
Okay.
eat a lot of different meats. They make me feel weird, especially now that I'm deep in my
Hmm.
40s. And it's just like, I just feel different when I eat meat. And it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm one step closer to being vegan now. So why not just go ahead? What was your experience like?
It was awesome, but I gained a lot of weight because I
Wow.
because I ate a lot of carbs.
Oh yeah, honey, you'll stack up on sugar and everything. I literally took this out and put all this in, and when I say I've gained this 30 pounds back, I ain't lying.
But
It's hard.
you look good though.
Thank
If
you.
that 30 pounds is looking good on you, okay?
Because I try at times to do the right thing. But
Period.
yes, honey, I believe what you're saying because when you take some stuff out, you definitely put in the stuff that's just terrible for
Yes.
you. And literally potatoes and stuff will take you out. It'll take you, but they're so good.
Potatoes, rice. I realized that if I'm going to be a vegan, I need to eat some
Okay.
vegetables besides potatoes. But I love what you're doing. Like you're intuitively
Hmm.
eating, and really that's what I try to do more of
Yeah.
is based off of how my body is speaking to me. I was going to say off of how I feel, but that's not always good. We don't want to emotionally
Because I
eat,
do
you know
that.
what I mean?
I do that. You
But eating
know, just
intuitively is awesome. Like, I think that that's the best way to
yeah.
go, especially as women with our hormones fluctuating and whatnot. You may need a day where you don't eat any carbs or a day where you don't eat any meat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It
Yeah.
fluctuates. Yeah.
Girl, it can be bad on you, I swear. But I love a good salad. I think at the
Me
most I'll
too.
do a chicken breast. I'll do a chicken breast down. But all the red meats and stuff, they make me feel weird. So I feel
Hmm.
like I could really do it. Now I have never had the cauliflower crust on pizza. Like some stuff is just like that sounds really not good.
Yeah.
So I'll figure it out. I'll find my way though because
I feel you on that. I can't do cauliflower crust pizza, and pizza is my favorite food.
oh
I
my
will not.
God.
It's going to be the greasiest,
Ooh.
nastiest, cheesiest pizza ever. I will not compromise on my pizza. Okay. But you know what? You should try cauliflower rice. Have you tried cauliflower rice?
No, and I love cauliflower.
You know,
So
I think you would like cauliflower rice though.
where you get
Now
that
that's a
from?
great stuff. Girl, in the frozen section at
Shut up.
whatever store you go to. It used to be back in the day, like when I was a vegan,
Uh-huh.
it was like you had to go to Whole Foods and
Okay. I've
Target and all of
never
that
been
to
to
get
Whole
it.
Foods. Oh my God. And I want to go in there. I want to go just to see what the hype is. And I want to go.
It's fun. It's an experience.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, they high as hell,
Oh my God.
okay?
That's what
They
I
high as
heard.
hell. I go there for specialty things,
Yeah.
special bottles of wine that I may not
Hmm.
find other places,
Okay.
or some of their desserts. We talk about eating healthy here. I am talking about desserts.
See, there it go. There it go. We off the chart. There we go.
But
Girl.
cauliflower rice, you can pretty much get anywhere now. You can get it at Walmart.
Hmm. I've
Yeah.
never heard of it until this very moment. So
Are you
I think I'm gonna
serious?
try it. Yes, I've
Girl,
never heard of it.
it's in the frozen section. You got to get it
Okay.
frozen. It's not in a box or nothing.
Okay.
And you cook it up. Just follow the directions on the package. Cook it up. I like to put a little shrimp in
Okay.
mine. You can do a really good healthy shrimp fried rice if you wanted to with
Mm.
it. Or I'm
Okay.
the chicken thigh queen. I can make 102 recipes out of some chicken thighs. Okay,
Girl.
put some chicken
Because my
thighs.
husband loves chicken thighs. You got to get the boneless ones, though. It's like,
Yes,
it almost gives
yes,
you a chicken breast vibe just a little bit, but I like them if they're boneless. They
yeah. Me
have to be
too.
boneless. It's
Me
just so
too.
much more meat. So,
Yes. It's more
yes.
flavorful. I used to love chicken breast, but I don't know. It just hit me one day like this is the driest meat
It
on the
is
planet.
dry. You have to
Why
moisten it
do
very
I
well.
eat this?
Don't put it on the grill because you're definitely gonna have to roll it around in something moist. You're gonna have
Yes.
to. But I love it. I don't know. You can do a lot of things with that. And there are some red meats that you can make a remarkable dinner out of, but that just
Hmm.
make me feel weird. My stomach starts hurting instantly, and I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna do it. Can't do it. So, We definitely gonna have to get together about these healthy food
Oh,
items and
oh,
meals and
yes,
things because
ma'am.
I don't know nothing about them, and I gotta get, I gotta do better.
We got
So yeah,
54 days until the first day of summer. We can get right.
okay. Cause I want to look good, girl. I ain't lying. I do. I want to feel great, especially, and a lot of meats, a lot of foods, period, that are bad for you can kind of dictate your mental state too.
Yes.
I notice, like whatever you put in, it can definitely take you on a mind trip. So I definitely don't need
100%.
any help with that. So
Yes.
I do need to do better by my body so that my mental can, be up to par. Because I'm telling you, life and eating bad, it's like a whole thing. So
It really is. And I'm so glad you said that because that was my whole point in even bringing up the diet is when it
yes,
comes to that work-life balance,
yeah,
making sure that what you're eating also helps sustain you, heal you, not just
yes,
physically, but mentally and emotionally too.
absolutely. I agree, honey. So back to the business. In what ways would you like to evolve in your career? Because you've done a lot of stuff. So I do know that this is probably not your end all be all because I feel like there's so much more that you want to do and be a part of. So, like, what do you want to do? How do you want to evolve? Do you want to take some news producer stuff with you in your next situation, or do you just want to do whatever?
Yeah. So it's it's really funny that you're asking that. Um my goal is to be the Shonda Rhimes of news. That is my goal.
And you can do it.
We have, girl, keep me in your prayer. Help me manifest this,
And you
okay?
can do it.
We,
I love the hair toss, girl. Right after that, yes.
so at Fox 4, we finally gotten to the app game, right?
Yeah.
And we have this app called WDAF Plus.
Uh huh.
And it's so crazy because when I was offered this job, our former news director, he's in Colorado now,
Okay.
but when he offered me the job, he said, Carissa, he said the same thing my old EP said when she reached out to me on LinkedIn. He said, everything that you have done has prepared you to be a news producer. And now with this app, it's crazy how much of a correlation it is between that and the business that I ran with my
Uh huh.
ex-husband. It was called Grace and Grind, and it was basically a health and wellness platform, and it took off fast because we launched it during the pandemic.
Uh huh.
And and I had the idea of hiring writers, creating all of this content just like Women's Health Magazine or Shape Magazine,
Yeah.
but we had a podcast, we had videos, and a lot of our revenue came from ads. It's free for people to use, but it's the advertisements and me building websites on the side
Okay. So
that
you've done it
built
all.
the revenue. Yeah, and you know what? At that point in time, I was only doing it for health and wellness
Hmm.
businesses, just to keep it, like I was saying, a brand within a brand,
Yeah.
right? So keeping all of that aligned. So now with this app, I'm like, whoa, I've done this, I've done it. And I was in the Kansas City Business Journal because of it. And ultimately, it grew so fast that it scared me, to be
I bet
totally
it did.
honest with you.
You was like, oh my God, this is taking off. This is what I
Yes.
want, but how
Hmm.
is this happening? Am I ready? You know?
Yes. It scared the hell out of me. And then we started going through our divorce, and I was just like, you know what? We're going to wash our hands of this, and I'm just going to find me a traditional job, right?
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't in vain because here we are with this app, and it's like we need content for it. We have a lot of ideas and whatnot that's being put out there. I have a segment on there called For the Culture, which
Okay.
you can catch every Tuesday at 10 a.m.
I know that's
So
right. You better throw that out there. Better promo.
And with that idea, I had that idea for the culture to be a show back in the at the end of 2023. and I pitched it to our news directors and whatnot, and they loved it, but there was just no space to do
Yeah.
anything with it. And I was still a new
Yeah.
producer at the time, so
Yeah.
I still had a lot to learn. Well, baby, with this app developing and coming out, they need content.
Okay.
And my work bestie, who's also an anchor on Fox 4 News at noon, Kristen Palmer,
Yes.
she
Love
was
her.
like, she said, "Excuse me, Kharissa has For the Culture sitting over here waiting.
Okay.
Let's get this on the app." So now it's on the app. As part of the show is called Morning Brunch. So For the Culture is a segment on Morning Brunch every Tuesday at 10 a.m. The goal is for it to be a full show.
Yes. It will
So,
be.
and it will be. I know it will be. But my end goal, honestly, is to do more on camera
Mm-hmm.
stuff for our app
Mm-hmm.
and to really take a leadership role when it comes to creating, executing, and streamlining content for the app. I have a million and one ideas that
Yes, I bet.
I'm just waiting to meet with my news director about, and I think she's going to love them. So fingers crossed on that. Fingers crossed on that. But that would be my end goal, is really to um, help WDAF Plus unfold and
Mm-hmm.
become an exemplary app for other stations, to the point that Nexstar, which is the company that owns Fox 4, they're
Uh-huh.
sending me to other stations around the country to help them develop their app. So I got some big
Girl,
goals. I
you
got some
sure
big
do.
goals.
Those are huge. And the fact that you've already written out these ideas in your head and you're actually touching things and putting things together like Legos,
Yes.
you're already set. You know, all you have to do now is just say, hey, this what we're gonna do. I know y'all like it, so let's just roll with it. And you have
Yes.
that confidence and you have that drive and you're like, you know what? I'm here.
That's
So y'all
it,
gotta see this.
honey.
I love it. I'm gonna have to start watching. That's right before I have to be at work, but I want to be down with it, and I'm gonna have to do this app and see what's going on because
Yes.
that
You can
excites me.
download it on Roku TV, Fire, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I'll definitely put it on Roku when we get finished here because I
Yes,
want to see what
ma'am.
it's about. And like I said, I love the engagement, and I think it's so pivotal in what you do, what I do, what a lot of media folks do. Just trying to keep things in evolution, and you want to include everybody, and you're on the
Yes.
right track. So I know they're gonna like it.
Thank
So
you,
yeah.
girl.
Of course. So, what's your daily routine before the cameras come on? Do you have this whole thing that you have to get into your vibe? Do you have to like do the coffee or the tea?
Yes.
Or like what is it that you do to get ready? Do you have to like get the jitters out? Are you ever nervous still? Like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sometimes, every now and then, if I am trying something new in terms of where the anchors are standing and how I want to turn to the story, or cut to the video or whatever. If I'm
yeah,
doing something new like that, then yes, I'm nervous every
yes.
time. Every time. Because you only get one chance, right?
That's it.
Like before before the show starts, I it basically takes, you figured I'm there from 6 till 2, right?
Hmm.
So my show airs at noon. So
Okay.
really from 6 to about 11 o'clock, I'm building the show.
Yes.
And there's only so much that you can see in the system that we use. It's not like you
Hmm.
can test everything out.
Hmm.
But like, we're creating the graphics and all of that. So when it airs live at noon, that's the first time we're all seeing it flow from beginning to
I
end.
know you like, oh my
So
God. I mean, and
yes,
it has to be nerve wracking for you to see something that you put together for the first time with everybody. Like you
yes,
don't get to pre-watch or anything like that. So it's like once it come out, you just like, oh my God, I hope it don't look crazy. I hope everything came
yes.
together.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Or even with reporter stories. Like I have an
Mm,
assignment editor that I work with to help decide what my two reporters are gonna cover in their
mm,
show. So that's always a little nerve-wracking, like, okay, are they there?
right.
And I have to check in with them before right before they come on to make sure they're there and all of that stuff. And if they're not there, it's my job to say, hey, they're not ready. We're killing it, right? So we're gonna
Right.
go on to the next story. But then that means I have to figure out, shoot, that's a minute and a half of time that now you have to feel
Yeah.
what stories are you going to add to the show while the show is happening
That's gotta
live.
be tough. Oh my God. Especially when people are not on time or whatever's happening. Like you said, you have
Hmm.
to fill those gaps and you have
Yes.
to think on the fly with it too. Like, what am I gonna hurry
Yes.
up and put in there? What I got? What I got? And then you just have to let it flow. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah. So that's always exhilarating. I don't think it ever makes me anxious or like nervous in a bad way
Yeah.
anymore. It's just exhilarating, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So basically, you like to work under pressure. You
I
That's like where you
am the
thrive your best.
exactly,
I know
exactly. I'm
that's
the
right.
bomb.com at
Okay.
working under pressure.
I
Yes.
love it. Black girls can. I'm telling you, honey. So, is there anything else that you would like to share with the teacups? And matter of fact, because you're being interviewed, you are now a teacup.
Okay.
Isn't that cute? Delightful.
I'm a
You know what
tea.
I'm saying? Uh-huh. Yeah. So you are definitely in there now. Is there anything else that you want to let everybody know? I know there's a question for you about the for the culture. So what are the
Okay.
concepts if you want to answer
Yeah,
that?
I'll answer that question first. So for the culture is all about, like I said, celebrating diversity, amplifying voices, and connecting communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, right now, it has very much so of a pop culture element to it. So, I will find the blackest entertainment stories out. You know what I mean?
Yes. Woo!
And that's what we're going to talk about, you know? But
Yeah.
at the same time, like I said, part of this is connecting
Uh-huh.
communities. So it needs to be inclusive too.
Yeah.
So some of the questions or discussions that come out of it can go any which
Mm-hmm.
way. They can take any direction. But as long as Black, Brown, LGBTQ plus communities are being highlighted in some way, and those stories are what gets the conversation going,
Yeah.
then that's what we're going to be talking about on Tuesday. Just to give you a little sneak peek, this weekend, me and Kristen both saw Sinners, and
We did on Saturday, baby.
Girl, honey. So Pat McGonigal, he's also he
I
anchors the noon as well.
love him.
Isn't he awesome?
I like
I
how he
just
says his
love
name. So when
Pat.
you guys come on in the morning, I'll say it with him like Pat McGonigal. I just like how he said. It kills
Pat
me,
is
but I
awesome.
love Pat.
Yes. And he's always so into it. He does For the Culture with us most of the time. And so he saw it opening weekend and he was telling
Mm,
us, y'all need to go see this movie.
I'm going
So
to
that's
see it
one of the
again.
things. I do
I'm
too. I do too.
going
Did
to
you
see it
see it in
again.
IMAX? Okay.
No. Is that
Okay.
what I need to do?
You need to see it in IMAX. You need to see it in
Mm,
IMAX. So
done.
that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about on Tuesday is our thoughts on the Sinners movie. But I did a segment last week about why you have to see it in
Yeah.
IMAX. And Ryan Coogler, AMC Theaters, and Kodak, they teamed up and created this video where he's basically breaking down different types of film and the film they use.
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
good.
That sounds exciting, girl. Oh my God.
And he explains why, like, this is why you want to go see it in IMAX. It's still going to be great. It's still going to be great if you see it just as a regular movie. Laser vision, I think is what AMC calls it or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I guess in film speak, it's called Ultra Panavision or something.
Ooh,
So that's just a regular movie. If you go see it regular, it's going to be great. But if you want the full experience where scenes are wider and
ooh.
deeper, it's like, see it in IMAX. And I
All
saw
I
it in
heard you say was
IMAX.
seeing smoke and stack.
Yes. Now, if you want to see this segment that I'm talking about, my portfolio website is
Uh-huh.
thekpmethod.co. And that
Okay.
is where I put all of my favorite segments that I've created. So it's a whole experience. It
Okay.
feels like the website feels like a production company. And that's how I
Mm,
want it to feel. You know what I mean?
yes.
But it's just my portfolio website. I'm just creative with how I designed it because I design websites on the side.
Okay, well, I'm
So
glad to hear that because I need mine to put together because I was on Wix. Girl, I don't have the patience. I don't have the like. I want columns. I want to add my links for my show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart. I want people to be able to click. Then I want like a Q&A. Like I want the whole work,
yes.
and I can't do it. So I'm glad to know
Well,
that you do it.
well, baby, that's perfect because I am a Wix partner. I've been a Wix partner since 2015.
Okay, you do it all. You do
We
it
can make
all,
it. Listen,
literally.
inflation is real, okay?
She
Like
said I
we
gotta
gotta
have
get our
all
coins.
hustles,
We
hands,
gotta
and
get our
everything.
coins.
Girl, hey, I am not mad because I'm trying to think of something right now. I said, do I know how to French braid? Like, what can I do? I need to watch YouTube because I need multiple streams of income. Do you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Girl, she
yes.
said I design websites, I do apps, I
Uh-huh.
do what you need. Call me. Girl, so Teacups, did y'all hear that? She can do it all. So go ahead and tap in. And it's the kpmethod.co.
Yep, the
Okay, I
kpmethod.co.co.
got it.
I'm actually in about an hour and a half at 3 o'clock. My newsletter, just a moment. I'm gonna send that out if you want to subscribe to it.
Yes.
It's just a self-care newsletter. Just using some of that health coaching, some of
Yes.
that expertise from there, just to help people get ready for the week ahead. And I'm sharing some of my favorite. I found this new skincare line that I'm absolutely in love with, and you will never guess where I got it from. But I'm not going to say it here. You got to subscribe.
Okay.
You got to subscribe to the
You know
newsletter
what?
to
That
find out.
cliffhanger, you are good. Because I started to say where it at. I love it. Like it. I just learned something. Like put a little bit out there and then take some back. Don't let
Yes.
everybody know what's going on. Have them
Yes.
subscribe.
Uh
Have them
huh.
tap in.
That's
You
how
see
you
how
do
you
it.
just and you slick. You was like, and so I ain't gonna tell you. So I love that. I have learned a lot during this live tea talk, and baby, the tea was okay.
I'm here for it.
The tea was definitely worth it, baby. So really quick, I always like to do this whole fun facts thing at the end of every tea talk.
Yes.
So give us some fun facts about Chris.
Okay, let's see. Fun fact about me: my daddy's a Black Panther, or was a Black Panther.
Okay,
Yes.
very fun.
So that's fun fact. And let's see what else. I love to travel. Gulf Shores, Alabama is my favorite place in the entire world. I've been to several countries, and for some reason, Gulf Shores, Alabama is my place. That is,
Okay,
I think it probably has something to do with my ancestry, and I'm
could
trying to do some research on
be,
that. You know what
could
I
be.
mean? I
Yeah,
saw Henry Louis Gates. You know how he's the guy who does the PBS Find Your Roots
yeah,
show?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he did, I can't remember what this special was, but I feel like it was a 2 or 3 part documentary he did earlier this year on PBS.
Hmm.
And one of the things they were talking about was how a lot of Black Americans are moving back down south. And they talked about how there's this feeling that can't be described where it's almost like your ancestors are calling you back.
Wow.
Girl, one of the editors at Fox 4 actually showed it to me, and she was like, I remember you telling me that this is how you felt about
Oh,
Alabama.
oh
And
my
it's so
God.
funny because my partner, he's from Alabama.
Mm.
And I tell him all the time, babe, we can move back. And he's like, the hell we can't.
He
We
said
are right
racism is
here in
still real,
Kansas City.
girl. He said no.
No,
We can
ma'am.
go visit, but ain't nobody moving down there. Racism is still pumping and
Right.
jumping. You know,
But
I
yeah,
have people in Mississippi and different places, and would I go live?
probably
Probably not.
not.
But I do want to go down and connect with some things because I haven't been down there since I was a child.
Hmm.
So I definitely want to go down there and see what it's about. Like I want to see if there's still juke joints. I'm sure that there's still
Yes.
cotton fields. Like you can't cut those down.
Hmm.
But just to see where my mother originated from and just kind of get a full background check because I've never been to the country.
Yes.
Well, in my adult life, enough for me to remember. So
Hmm.
I think it's about time. But living, probably not. But I definitely want to go down and see what tea is. And I can't help but to always say what tea is. I don't know. Because tea is information. I got to know
Yes,
what's going on with my ancestors and things like that. So yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Girl.
My
And
grandma
I
has people from Shibuya, Mississippi.
really
Yes,
I
and we used
never
to
had,
go down
oh
there.
my
We used
God.
to go down there for family reunions when I was little, but I haven't been back since I was like 12.
Girl, I don't know what we would be in for if we go down there now. I mean, I mean, people live down there,
Right.
but maybe, girl, maybe they screaming to get out. We don't
Yeah.
even know. We don't even
Yeah.
know. But I would
Hmm.
love to just see where we hail from, because this city
Yes.
life, I was born and raised here too, and this city life is really all I know. So I do
Hmm.
want to go down and see what's going on. But
Yes. Yeah. I
I'll
feel you
check
on
it
that.
out.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you have some amazing things to do today, and I'm going to be on the lookout. I'm definitely going to check out the kpmethod.co for all of my teacups, including Miss Chris. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in today. And make sure that you catch up with her and follow her and see what's going on because, like I said, her hands are in everything. Okay, we all know Black girls rock, but baby, when I tell you she's on a roll, she's on a roll.
Oh, thank you,
So
girl.
yes, thank you so much for your time today. We'll text because I got to
Yes.
know everything that you know about the vegan lifestyle and how to like feel great up here,
Yes.
and all that. So yeah, never be afraid to drop me some information because I'm going to be looking for them. But as I always say at the end of every show, make sure that you keep enough room in your teacups for new tea. And see y'all later. Enjoy your Saturday.
Bye. Thanks for having
Bye.
me.
Of course. We'll
Oh,
meet.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bye, girl.
Bye.